Hey guys, so today I'm just bringing you another video on an OG blog. Now these are the blogs that ModMark has been doing on the Combat Rework, giving you a lot of information, reasons for doing certain things, and just general stuff, you know. And he's also done many others of these, so you can also look back through the news and find these. However, I will link this one in the description of the video, as this is the one that I'm talking about in the video. Now, he goes through many important points in this topic, but the first thing I'm going to go to, as you've guessed from the title of the video, full Bandos. Now, you might be thinking, oh, full Bandos? Bandos starts at the chest bit. Nope. Yes, Bandos gear will be completed with the addition of a new shield, gloves, and a brand new helmet. And even armadyl will get similar treatment. I'm assuming these will be dropped by the bosses. Now, if you see my live com Sunday yesterday, me and I were talking about pretty much exactly that, adding new drops. And it seems like they've hit that right on the nail, and they're adding new drops to Bandos and armadyl. Now, I'm assuming they'll be added to the drop tables. I doubt they're going to bring them in any other way to the game, because I think they do realise that them need improving. Now, these aren't obviously the only armours. There's lots more armours that are being added. There's a lot more like balancing and levelling out like the system, because obviously like you get to rune, it goes from like bronze to rune incredibly quickly. Like 1 to level 40 is not much at all. Rune is going to be level 50 now, and yeah, it says requirements for rune gear, for example, will now only be available at 50 plus. So you can see that they're trying to stretch it out a bit, just to make it more balanced over the lower levels, and they're obviously going to add new higher level gears as well, hopefully. And they've always talked about a new range and mage gear. Now, as you can see here, they're adding a new range gear called Cockroach Armour, Ranger Tank Bucklers, and awesome offhand crossbows. So there's definitely going to be a lot of additions, and obviously you've got all the offhand gears as well. Like every weapon is pretty much going to have an offhand version. And mages will find the new safety decked out in spider silk robes and batwing robes. Now these sound really newbie. I think they're aimed at low levels, because they said the problem was at a low level combat you basically have access to like barely any magic gear. You've got like the most basic robes ever, but they're pretty much terrible, aren't they? But obviously they're going about stuff that we already know about, dual wielding and be able to dual wield anything. Now, to go away from that massive big reveal, like that there's going to be huge new gears and things for Bandos, I didn't really expect them to add like a load of new Bandos gears. But maybe they'll do it for Torva, maybe Torva boots, maybe Torva gloves, who knows? They could do all sorts of stuff. They could add it for every next gear, but only time will see. And just hope they don't nerf Glaven and Steadfast boots and Ragefire boots, because they were released in the game to be the best. Now, in this first topic he talks about basically making the combat triangle balanced. So what he's just saying is that they've increased the power of range and mage so that it's equal to melee. Now, they didn't want to nerf melee so that it was as bad as mage and range, they just increased the power of mage and range. And basically the DPS is going to be very similar. And also you're going to be strongly discouraged from using the back, like using the way you're not meant to. So obviously if you know the combat triangle, melee is weak against mage, etc, etc. So if you are meleeing a mage, you're going to be massively disadvantaged. And the same with ranging a melee and maging a ranger. They're all going to have huge disadvantages, as it says here. They'll find them at a huge disadvantage. So you're going to get owned basically if you try to do that. And even that's not just PvP, that is PvM as well. Now I like how Jagex always say PvE, even though every single person in RuneScape calls it PvM almost. And I'm sure there's a few that say PvE, but majorities all say PvM. Like you see like Born with PvM, King of PvM, and all these account names that just have PvM in them. You don't see any PvEs, but oh well. So they're trying to make it balanced, which obviously is a really important thing to do. That is, I'm guessing, is the main reason for doing the combat rework at all. Because it was stupid how it is completely unbalanced. It needed a huge rework to be sorted, but it's awesome. And they're saying if you're like a higher level in all the stats, you'll be able to use different. You'll be able to switch from melee to magic and things, just like hybriding sort of thing. You'll be able to use what tactic you want on certain monsters. Because they were saying melee monsters are really prominent in RuneScape. Pretty much like 90%, I think I'm not sure where it says that, 95% of NPCs in the game are melee based creatures. So they're trying to vary that up a bit to encourage you to have to range and mage certain tasks and melee certain other tasks. Like not even if it's just Slayer or just training, they want to encourage you to use the other combat styles, because at the minute obviously everyone melees. and that is something that definitely want to change. So we've went over fill the gaps in existing quick equipment tiers already. So obviously they're adding the bandos, so just making sure there's no big huge gaps, because I know Magic's got very few gears and they're definitely going to be fixing that with a few more. And the next topic gives us some more information, which is going to be really interesting and definitely going to change the game quite a lot. Now, well, not necessarily, I mean, once you get to a high level it's not going to make a difference, but basically what they're doing with food, now I can read this in more detail, is basically the problem is they can make gears balance for certain players as they can put a requirement on it, but food at the minute does not have a requirement. A level 10 can, if he can afford it, can buy Ceridome and Brews or Rocktails, and just, he's got no chance. I mean, he's got a full inventory of Rocktails, nothing's going to even come close to killing him, because he's like got 10 HP and a Rocktail heals so much. I mean, he's got he's got full HP healing food, and that is ridiculous. And basically what they've done is encourage you to use the highest possible food that's balanced for your player. So he mentions like an example of being around level 50 in Constitution, you should be really eating lobsters. And if you choose to eat sharks, you can, but it won't heal any more than a lobster will. So I think that's just to make it more balanced. I've said the word balance so many times, but that's what it is. They're trying not to make it overpowered. They're trying to make lower combat levels actually feel like lower combat levels. Like, you shouldn't be going out and buying like high level food. I know when I was first playing RuneScape as a low level player, I'd use noob food. I'd use stuff like trout, and I use lobsters quite a lot. And at the minute, I think I feel like so many players are rich enough to just go out and buy sharks and stuff and high level food, even if they're low level. I mean, you look at Squeal of Fortune now, you can win 250k so commonly. And 250k might not seem a lot to like as high if you're a high level player, but if you're a lower level player, 250k might be quite a damn lot. You can do a lot of 250k as a low level. I mean, you got full rune in 250k. That's ridiculous. I mean, I remember when I was getting my first full rune, it was really tough. And yeah, that's going to be more of an achievement now, since it's like well over level 50. It's going to be a really good armor to get, I imagine, as the Constitution boost from it is going to be really awesome. They also mentioned the LP boosts in this, and they're on about, they want it to give you the right amount of LP for your level, sort of thing. So it says here in this paragraph, we have also given players a significant life point boost if they wear armor appropriate for their level. Wearing appropriate armor can contribute as much as 90% of your total life points, more so if you wish to wear a shield as well. And shields are going to be really damn good, is pretty much what they've been saying, to encourage you to use shields, because at the minute shields are just pretty much pointless. And they also say that this means that a player with the right armor for their level, assuming that a player's defense is roughly the same as their offensive stat, will have 10 to 15 times the life points of someone wearing no armor at all. So you can see the huge benefit of armor. Now, this makes me think of dungeoneering, so I'm sure most players have actually done dungeoneering before, and you don't really bind armor. I mean, I've got a primal plate bound, and most players seem to agree now that primal plate is definitely a good bind. But a lot of the time people have no armor whatsoever, and I imagine, like, if you got no armor whatsoever, you're going to have 10 to 15 times less LP. So in a dungeon, you're going to get completely wrecked, surely, if you don't have armor. So it's definitely going to change what people want to bind, and I'm thinking like a primal kite and a primal battle axe bind might be good as well, since the shields are going to be so good. But we'll have to look into that in the future. Obviously the beta is released tomorrow, and I can't freaking wait, because there's so many things to test out and go and have fun with. So the LP boost is going to kind of be based on using the right gear, I think. If you use gear that's lower than your level, you're not going to get much, I think. Unless they're just using it as an example. I'm not really sure exactly what they mean by that. It's quite, I think it's a little bit hard to get what he means from that. Seems a bit vague. And the last bit is just about the combat level calculator. It's just saying that they want it to be based on like your damage per second, how much power you can give out, and as we already kind of know that. And then the last part is just a note. It's just some little basic information from Mudmark, and obviously saying make sure you give feedback. Now he says, as I've always told you, you can go on the combat discussion forum, and there you can report bugs, you can report improvement suggestions, whatever you want to do, and you'll be able to get, hopefully Jagex will be reading that forum quite a lot. I imagine they will be, because that's the point of the beta, so they can get a lot of feedback. And they also mentioned that nothing you earn, lose, or level on the beta servers will remain afterwards, and nothing you do in the beta will affect the live game. So you do not need to be worried in the beta servers. As long as you're on the beta servers, if you die and lose stuff, nothing happens. But during the beta also, you'll be able to pick up new gear and items for free from traders added to Lumbridge. So bear in mind, if you do die and you lose stuff, you can get it back for free regardless. I'm not sure if they're going to be like giving out free dungeoneering stuff. I assume it would make sense for them to do. I think they just want everyone to be able to get any gear they want. This will obviously include the new gear. I'm not sure if it'll include like the new Bandos items. I assume it might do, but I think in the main launch they will be drops from the bosses obviously. I assume there'll be drops from the bosses in this as well, but you know what I mean. And the other interesting thing that we didn't really know anything about before is you'll be able to reset your profile on the beta servers to match your current live account at any point during the beta. So if you go on your regular account and like get from 90 to 95 rune crafting, but on your beta account you won't, but you'll still be 90, you can reset your beta account back to your live account and you'll go to your exact same situation that your live account's in. So you'll be able to get to that 95 rune crafting with just like a click. And the other thing is that you can reset your account to level, well, that's going to be 4, but it says level 1 there. Nice fail from Mudmark, but it basically just means reset it to square 1. So you can start a completely new account on your beta, just under the same name and everything, and that'll be pretty awesome if you want to try out being a low level player. And I mean, a lot of people in the beta will be high level players, since obviously you've got to have membership for a whole year before this to get permanent access. But that's all I want to say about this OG blog. There's not much else to say, but I will have the link in the description. It's definitely worth a read. There's little bits of information that I obviously haven't included because there's so much here that it's hard to include everything. Anyway guys, thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you tomorrow for possibly the combat beta, and I'm not sure what videos I'll be doing, but I'll see you tomorrow when we go live in game. Thanks for watching.